There has been a festering crisis in the ranks of the Ekpe Efik society in Calabar, Cross River State. Ekpe can be described as the ancient traditional order and government that regulated the affairs of the people in the geographical area. You have the Efiks, Quais and Defuts in pre-colonial era, now majorly found in present-day Cross River State. The crux of the matter in the Ekpe Efik society crisis has been alleged recalcitrant attitude of a few members of the society who belong to one of the Ekpe Lodge, namely Efik Abokuyutan. They reportedly undertook some actions and rites that were adjudged abominable and were accordingly fined and placed on sanctions. Their alleged misdeeds started when on November 26, 2016, a full member of the Etubames Traditional Council and an Obong Ekpe of Efik Abokuyutan, name withheld, died suddenly and in the aftermath of the burial wherein full traditional rites were accorded the deceased before his interment. The now embattled Ekpe Efik society members of Efik Abokuyutan thought otherwise, questioning the full traditional rites accorded the deceased Etubam, again name withheld. In their opposition, they did not state nor disclose the alleged offense of the deceased. Rather, one of them announced during one of the series of meetings held after the burial, saying that 2 Ekpe title holders, names also withheld, have been stripped of their title. The decision was adjudged as unilateral and the 2 victims followed historical antecedent as was recorded in similar incidents in 1922 and 1953 and even in 2016. They appealed their case to Efik Otomasemba Fadiabo. Bearing in mind the gravity of the allegations contained in the appeal, Fadiabo wrote to Efik Abokuyutan informing them of the case and also wrote inviting all other Efik from Efik, Quais and Defut to participate in the hearing which was held on January 14, 2017. 17 Ekpe lodges and over 15 Bong Ekpe lords, from Efik, Quais and Defut showed up in the meeting. The appellants also showed up but the respondents from Efik Abokuyutan did not show up but rather sent a letter stating that they were autonomous and no group had the right to sit in judgment over them among others. The Ekpe lords considered Abokuyutan's letter to be an affront since they, Abokuyutan, had fully participated in a similar tribunal at the same venue, less than a year before. They decided to write another invitation to Abokuyutan and postpone the hearing to January 28, 2017. On the said date, Abokuyutan did not show up again or offer any excuse, so the Ekpe lords from different lodges sat together, deliberated on the content of the appeal before them and came to the following conclusions. That no Iamba, head of Efik, has the right to sit alone and strip fellow Ekpe lords of their titles, without first accusing them properly and giving them an opportunity to defend themselves. Noting that the Iamba is the first among equals and not a principality unto himself. That no Iamba has the right to deny a deceased member Passover rights, most especially where such a member has neither been formally accused of any infraction nor judged on the table and sanctioned while he was alive. That Efik Abokuyutan is not the private property of Iamba family or the Efiang Oko whole line nor any individual. Rather that every Efik is the property of a village or collection of family lines. That an Efik Abokuyutan should not be made a cemetery. No other in Efik, Quais or Efut carries out such a practice, and when you juxtapose alleged secret burials inside Efik Abokuyutan with reported cases of incense and candle burning, and other paraphernalia of occult practice, then what is going on there is no longer Ekpe as Efik, Quais and Defut know it. That the current practice of ensuring that only Iamba family hold and perform all important roles and rituals in Efik Abokuyutan is wrong and condemnable. For all the wrongdoings and most importantly for being insulting and refusing to appear before all other Ekpe lodges, Efik Abokuyutan was fined 3 cows, 1 each for Efik, Quais and Defut, as well as other items, and they were given 1 month within which to pay the Ekpe fine. The Efik Abokuyutan was also placed under combined, universal Ekpe sanction, meaning that all other Ekpe lodges and initiates shall not invite, visit, sit, play or interact with Efik Ibom or its outcast Mbong Ekpe, in any Ekpe-related matter until they comply with the sanctions and correct their ways. In defiant response to counter the decision taken on them, the outcast Ekpe lords of Efik Ibom now issued their own fine against the other Ekpe lodges, demanding for 7 cows and 7 goats and some money among other items, while giving 7 days for the payment of the fine. They followed up this action by defiantly announcing on the radio that they had stripped more of their Ekpe lords, names withheld, of their titles. They did many other things in defiance and independently initiated many young men and gave titles to several new lords to make up for the members removed. They are also accused of promoting a current spin in an attempt to give a narrative to drag in the Obong of Calabar, who, though a member of the Ekpe society, his office and palace matters are treated differently from Ekpe matters that are handled only in the respective Ekpe lodge or lodges. They did this by using one of the paraphernalia used for coronation of the Obong in a manner that reportedly upset a large cross-section of Efiks who claimed it was a sacrilege and traditional death wish against the Obong. In affirmation of the severity of the issue at hand, the Ekpe lords from various lodges met again in June 2017 and released an Ekpe masquerade which has not been seen in public for the last 100 years, along with a solemn 200-man procession to counter what Efik Ibom had done and also make a traditional public announcement to Ekpe members, dissociating the rest of Ekpe Efik from Efik Ibom till further notice. The procession took place in Calabar and Ctone, the first ancestral settlement of the Efiks. Subsequently, Efik Ibom members have variously accused the other Ekpe lodges and Obong's palace, both verbally and on social media, of pouring of mbiam, a form of spiritual attack against them, and conspiring to steal or kill Efik Ibom's Ekpe. In July 2017, they wrote a petition to the police against the heads of some of the Ekpe lodges, who were members of Obong's palace, accusing them of conspiring to break into their shrine and causing them spiritual attacks. The other 17 lodges, on the other hand, have dismissed the accusations as childish and clear proof that the young men currently in charge at Efik Ibom are novices. They also lament that all this is happening because the Iyamba of the Efik Ibom who could have called them to order is over 94 years old, and is said to be frail and hardly seen in public. So far in the past 1 year, the Obong's palace corroborated the decision of other 17 Ekpe lodges by announcing that all Efik royal families shall no longer invite some individuals from Efik Ibom to take part in certain activities of the palace until they show remorse and pay the various fines imposed on them. Within the period, Efik Ibom has not been invited to any Ekpe gathering or function in Efik, Ekpe or Efik land by any of the other 17 lodges that took the decision to sanction them. Within the period also, individual Ekpe lord from Efik Ibom are not allowed to sit with other Ekpe lords in any Ekpe gathering. None of the Ekpe lords, newly given titles by Efik Ibom are recognized by Ekpe Efik, Efik and Ekpe, and they cannot sit in any Ekpe gathering apart from those organized by Efik Ibom, or they risk being seriously embarrassed. Also of note is the fact that Efik Ibom were not invited to the famous Nuru Ekpe ceremony, where they had won a prize in 2016, which takes place annually in Botanical Garden, Calabar, and attracts large numbers of Ekpe lodges and skilled Ekpe practitioners from other states and countries. However, going forward over the debacle, the police was brought in as stated earlier, and after their investigation, they noted their limitation in interference on traditional matters but admonished one party to respect tradition while advising both parties to be law-abiding and keep the peace. Several well-meaning people and socio-cultural organizations in Calabar have also tried to intervene in the crisis by appealing for forgiveness, show of remorse and perhaps a lowering of the fine imposed on Ibom as a way forward. Efik Ibom, however, appears to be insisting that every Ekpe lodge is autonomous and therefore no gathering of Ekpe lodges has the right to sanction them or impose any fine on them. They have even threatened to go to court over the issue. On the other hand, the 17 lodges say Ekpe has regulated itself for over 600 years and the corrective sanctions and fine remain in place until Ekpe Ibokuyutan takes the proper traditional steps to realign themselves with Ekpe Efik, or they shall remain on their own with no interaction with other Ekpe lodges until further notice. 1 year after the crisis ensued, it seems the way forward is still very cloudy and the crisis still festering.